a glimpse beneath the mask. It is well known that our kind operate by the wearing of masks. We have learned, consciously where greater or ultra, or unconsciously where lesser or mid-range, how to portray those emotions which we don't feel. We have ascertained that in certain situations that we are expected to respond in a particular way. And accordingly, whether consciously or unconsciously, we don a particular mask, which enables us to seduce and to charm you more effectively. The wearing of the mask enables us to keep the vicious malevolence that lurks beneath at bay, allowing it to be kept in check so that we are able to achieve acceptability and the advancement of our agendas, namely, getting you under control and acquiring fuel from you, character traits and residual benefits. There are, however, occasions where you get a glimpse beneath the mask. I'm not referring to when the mask is removed and you become devalued. That, in effect, is a deliberate act of our narcissism. It is a conscious step, where greater or ultra, and an unconscious step taken by lesser or mid-range. The devaluation is intended by our narcissism, whether we are conscious of that or not. Nor am I making reference to when sometimes the mask fractures as a consequence of the ignition of our fury, and the lesser and mid-range of our kind are unable to keep the mask in place, so the ignited fury erupts and unleashes the beast within. What I am referring to is that there are actually occasions where we provide you with a fleeting glance beneath the mask as to what lies in wait for you. This happens during the seduction period, and it's very important for you to recognize when this occurs. Sometimes it can occur as a consequence of the external impact of a particular agent. For instance, alcohol, stress, fatigue. With the ultra or the greater, it is actually an intended and deliberate act which is executed to give you that little glimpse to gauge your reaction. In such an instance, the greater or the ultra will tell you purposefully and consciously of what lies ahead to see how you respond to it. To see if you balk at the suggestion, meaning that you're nowhere near under the control that we need, or that you are more likely to respond in a sympathetic manner, demonstrating you are coming under our overall control, or that you even deny such a thing could happen. The greater or the ultra will deliberately and purposefully do this to test you, to essentially see how the seduction is progressing. And therefore, if we hear responses such as, "I couldn't ever imagine you doing that," or "That won't happen with me though, it might have happened with other people, but I will treat you better than they have," or "You're not like that, don't be silly," or "I don't see you doing something like that, you are far too nice," then we have given you a warning of what lies in store for you, and you have responded in a positive manner. Of course, you've provided us with fuel, but you have also signalled to us that you are coming under our control, and therefore we are able to gauge, through our calculated behaviours, the extent of the further manipulations that need to be provided to you during the seduction period. It enables us to ascertain whether we can park you for a moment and apply our attention elsewhere, or whether we should continue in this vein. It's a green light to demonstrate that you're coming under control and that you will accord with our desire for that control. It also serves a useful purpose to the greater and the ultra to be able to throw this back in your face, so that when you are devalued, and everybody is devalued, either the sustained devaluation of the intimate partner primary source, or the occasional corrected devaluation that secondary sources, intimate or non-intimate, receive, we are able to throw the warning that we gave you back in your face. So we will say to you, I did warn you. Why are you complaining about what I've done? I was upfront that this would happen. I told you so. It's no use crying about it now. I told you earlier what I was like. I told you, and you chose to stay with me. It's your fault. Accordingly, when you rail against your treatment in devaluation, and thus threaten our control through the application of challenge fuel, we are able to reject this attempt to make us accountable, to pin blame on us, and to threaten our control by saying, quite simply, I told you what I was like, you consented, you let yourself in for this, you were warned. And it becomes a very effective response. With regard to the lesser and mid-range narcissists, the way to look at this is, because they are acting unconsciously, that they are unaware, they have not done it deliberately in order to gauge a response. Instead, what's happening is it's almost like they are thinking aloud. As a consequence of an external stressor, the lesser or mid-range narcissist allows what is going on beneath the surface to rise for a moment. So it's a little bit like where you might inadvertently articulate your thoughts, not intending for them to be heard by anybody. The lesser or mid-range narcissist, of course, unconsciously doesn't want you to know what's lying ahead, and therefore the narcissism ensures to keep that under wraps for the most part during your seduction. But occasionally there is some slippage of the mask, and, unintentionally for a moment, the explanation of a future behaviour is manifested before it is realised what has been said. When it has been said, the disclosure is brushed to one side, denied or passed off as a silly comment owing to drink or being tired. Why do these comments arise in such a manner from the lesser and mid-range of our kind? Is it guilt? Is it remorse? No, of course not, because those are emotions that are not felt by our kind. It arises from a loss of control. The bad behaviour that will arise in devaluation at some point is lurking beneath the surface, and like a cat fighting to get out of a sack, it's always wanting to make an appearance, but is prevented from doing so by the maintenance of the mask that is worn, the assertion of control over that. Occasionally, however, through the loss of control caused by this external agent, it might be drink, it might be fatigue, it might be through inattention, what lurks beneath makes a brief and fleeting appearance before that control is asserted once again. For your information and to enable you to spot this, should you continue to engage with narcissists or where you meet somebody new in the future, here are 15 portentous show and tells of our kind. Should you ever hear these comments, they are either being unconsciously articulated to you by the lesser or mid-range narcissist or deliberately revealed to you by the greater or the ultra. Either way, pay heed to the warning that you are being given, and then look to apply go so. Here are 15 examples. Number 1, I am a bad person, really. 2, I will only hurt you. 3, you should stay away from me. 4, I do bad things. I cannot help it. I always do. 5, I will make you wish you had never met me. 6, it will go wrong, it always does. 7, you will end up hating me. 8, you don't know what you're getting into with me. 9, you shouldn't do this. 10, you should leave while you can. 11, this is going to turn out badly. 12, I have to hurt people. 13, I don't want to hurt you, but I will. 14, I just want to fit in. 15, I'm not what you think I am. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.